Here I am in my home office where I operate my freelance graphic design business. You might be wondering, how do I get there? How can I work from home and do something that I enjoy? Well, there's a lot of risks and opportunities that I took to get to where I am today. And that's what I want to share with you, how I became a freelance graphic designer. About 8 years ago, in my junior year of high school, I had the opportunity to attend a technical career center for interactive media. This is when I really started to find my passion for design. I had done it for fun, just at home, on my own, working on my own stuff, but now I could do it half of the time I was in school. And it was in this career center where I had the opportunity to work with some clients pro bono, doing posters, websites, logos, and that sort of stuff. And that's when it clicked for me, that I could do this for a living and make money. Jump ahead, after graduating high school, I attended a 2-year college for the same thing, interactive media and business, and this is when I really started to experiment with the idea of freelancing. But of course, while in school, I also had to get a part-time job. I worked in the print department of an office supply store. So I went these 2 years of in college experimenting with freelancing, aside from the part-time job, and just doing my schoolwork. So 2 years went by, I graduated college, there I was standing behind a Xerox printer, slaving over the start button while some customers over there shopping for a stapler. And what bothered me the most was that I was spending most of my days at my part-time job, and there's client work piling up at home, waiting for me. And I could be spending my time effectively, growing something and doing something that I actually enjoyed. So I did it. I put in my 2 weeks and I quit my part-time job. There was never going to be a better opportunity for me to take such a risk. I still lived with my parents, so my expenses were low, and I knew that if I wanted to make this happen, now was the time. So I started freelancing full-time. About a year passed and not much happened. I wasn't making a livable income, so I really needed to figure out how do I need to make this work, or else I needed to find another job. So I took a step back and I rebranded everything. I figured out a new business model, what I should focus on. I redesigned my website, redesigned my logo, but then I started putting my blog to use. I started posting design tutorials about things I knew, things I learned, and I started sharing some of my experience with freelancing. This helped bring in a little bit of traffic, but it got the attention of other well-established blogs. And this is when I had the opportunity to guest post for the next 6 months, every single week, about freelancing. And this is what skyrocketed my freelance business. It's what really brought in traffic. So I stuck with that for the next couple of years. I continued to write, continued to go outside my comfort zone, and I just showed up every single day. But the biggest thing was stepping outside of my comfort zone. I wasn't a writer. I thought I sucked at writing, but I did it anyway. And because of that, it's what's led to where I am today. So if you're considering the idea of starting a freelance business, my biggest piece of advice would have to be to just validate the idea. You might enjoy the thought of freelancing, but if you actually get a chance to work with a client one-on-one and you hate it, or if you don't like the idea of having to market your own business and to put yourself out there, then you're gonna struggle a lot and you're just not gonna enjoy it. But maybe you're already freelancing and you're just kind of struggling. Your income's going up and down, client work is kind of sparse. So my advice to you is to do what I did. Take a step back, look at your business, and you need to pinpoint those hurdles that you need to jump. I break my freelance business down into 4 main principles: identity, focus, marketing, and process. You need to first figure out who you are and who you want to work with. You need to build a brand around that, which comes to the second thing, focus, which kind of ties into identity. You need to figure out what you're going to do specifically. You can't do everything to just scrape by. You need to figure out what you love to do, the 1 or 2 things that you can become great at, that your clients are like, this guy knows how to design a logo, I want to work with him. And the third thing is marketing. How are clients going to know you even exist? Just by putting a portfolio online and letting it stagnate isn't going to do anything. You need to get your name out in front of the right people, and you need to bring people into your website, and you need to do that with marketing. So figure out how you can get your name out. And the fourth thing is process. which is very important. You need to know how you're gonna work with clients from start to finish. You need to have some sort of structure in place for how you're gonna operate as a freelancer. And these are all things I share on my blog, Your Freelance Career. And these are things we're gonna dive into specifically here in these videos with you. So if you have any questions about graphic design, about how to run a freelance business, about my story or me, just leave a comment and I'll respond, or I'll even do a Q&A video series maybe. That's all I have for you. So I appreciate you taking the time to let me share my story with you. Hopefully you're able to pick up some insight from it. But I really want to thank you for watching. And just today, please do one thing that'll help you get to where you'd like to be one day. Just one thing. All right, thanks.